Hello everyone, it's me, Sasuke125 here, back again with a random video. So, this is going to be a bit of a different video from like my reviews, gameplay videos, and other comic dub things, because I found something rather interesting. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so remember like over 10 years ago, there was this one controversial figure called PaulandAmy, who was a part of this whole form called the Sonic Passion thing. Anyway, so long story short, the dude was simping over Amy Rose, and then he ended up doing something really bad with some foster kids, and then ended up in prison. So, I mean, that's the summary of the story overall. But what I did find interesting is like, okay, when I was looking up like some old random videos for nostalgia, just for randomness or boredom. Okay, so in one of the videos by like Relo Puppy, that's their name. Anyway, so when they were talking about Paul and Amy, I found some two interesting comments that were on the video. Two of these people claim to have known Paul and Amy. Now, I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but I just find that rather interesting that two of these commenters actually know about this person. So, I'm going to read the two comments. Anyway, the first one is from Dead Baby Turtle, if their account of actually knowing this dude. Anyway, Paul and I were friends. We used to webcam a lot on MSN Messenger. MSN Messenger. Totally the boomer days of the internet. Anyway, not in a weird, creepy way, just two mates hanging out. He was a couple years older than me, but we had some similar interests. Beyblades, Pokemon, modding, coding, and of course Sonic. Nothing wrong with that. I was never obsessed as he was, but I love having someone to nerd out with. Don't we all? Anyway, Amy's stuff was a bit weird for me, but as a kid starting to go through puberty and working stuff out, I met gays, furry, he's trans, it all seemed weird to me, but this just felt no different. I do remember one day we were talking and he admitted that when he was very young, like 8, he saw his father sexually assaulting his 6-year-old sister, so he stabbed him to death. He was eventually put into foster care system, and then his foster mom adopted him, and after some time, I don't know anything about the abuse stuff. He never mentioned he has foster kids in his house. We spoke and webcammed nearly every day, then one day he stopped coming online. I put a message up on his Facebook while asking where he went. Somebody private messaged me and told me that I didn't want anything to do with that pedo. That's how I Googled him and learned the truth. He was such a nice guy and we spoke for years. It was so devastating to learn what he did. Jeez, that's kind of messed up. Anyway, second comment by Plastic Budgie or something. Plastic Budgie. Anyway, this is what they say. Want to know something messed up? I went to school with this freak. We looked up to him when I was in school. Me and my friends as he designed characters and stuff for a game called Icy Tower. One day, me and my friend had some beers and he invited me to his house. He was then he then played a anime and was literally nerd gushing over the fact this weird cartoon had a tree, well, doing stuff to a character. Me and my friend then were invited upstairs after looking at each other with pure shock. His room had around 40 pictures of Amy Rose, Sonic characters, and teddies, and said that the little Amy Rose teddies were his children and the big one was his waifu. Obviously, we left shocked and confused. Then, 2 years later, it came out that he did those atrocious things. Atrocious thing he did. He lived in a house with foster parents and kids. He lived like 1 minute away from me. Hope he rots. Oh, shit. I just thought those two comments were interesting. Now, I'm just taking these stories with a grain of salt. Like, are they true? Probably, probably not, or maybe it's half true, who knows. That's the thing when it comes to like these eyewitness accounts sometimes, is that they're not always 100% accurate, but then again, can't say that you're 100% lying either, but it's still an interesting read nonetheless. And if these stories are true, then yeah, sorry you guys had to deal with that. Anyway, just thought it would have been an interesting read taking a look at these comments. Oh yeah, and go and check out the original video talking about Paul and Amy by Relo Puppy and shit. Great video, by the way. Hard to believe it's been like, what, more than 10 years now since the dude was last arrested? Anyway, this is SS Sasuke 125 here, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.